Hello everyone, Neagat here, and welcome to another match of LittleWarGame. Today I'm bringing you a replay that was played on Ravaged between myself, Neagat, playing with the red pieces, versus my opponent, Satocastor, playing with the blue pieces. I remember playing a couple games against Satocastor, but this is one that he posted on the replay section of Discord. We've gone back and forth playing a couple games. I'm very curious to see which one this one is. I know of one where I had like a crushing defeat, and then I know one where I had like just the most insane victory. And I hope it's this one with the insane victory. But regardless, let's go ahead and take a look at the build openers. So looks like we're going for racks versus racks, which is nice to see. It's nice to see some standard stuff. While our racks are building, let me go ahead and just shout out my channel really quickly. If you like this content that I do, the replays that I make for LittleWarGame and the stuff I post on my channel, go ahead and leave a like down in the down below the video. It helps my channel a lot, especially as we're growing here. And if you're ever curious about the LittleWarGame community, about getting into it and playing it yourself, we have a Discord. I believe I leave that in the description as well. And then yeah, if you ever want to watch more videos, go ahead and subscribe. Love to see you here more. Okay, so looks like I am playing against Raiders. Both of us going for the exact same build, Raider versus Raider. In fact, both of us have queued up Raiders. Looks like he's going for an 11th worker. No. He's going for, yeah, he's going for an 11th worker. And I also have an 11th worker. So it is quite literally the same amount of, it's the same build. The only difference between our builds is I like to go for this worker scout, basically scouting this area. This is typically where you're going to see 2 racks proxies. In this area, you're going to see den proxies. It's possible to see them here, but it's less popular to put them there. Okay, so first Raider comes out. A little bit of Raider control while this is all going on. Satocastor with a great blink. However, he did lose some energy, and I was able to trade back. He misses the second blink there. I was able to blink again, and now as a result of losing that that second blink without doing any damage, I was able to blink forward and get that worker kill. Satocastor responds by building archers, so he basically concedes the Raider war to me the moment he loses that first Raider, and now I'm able to group up my 2 Raiders and start moving on towards the other side of the map. This is kind of the fun side of LittleWarGame. Within 3 minutes, you're already going for Raider wars. They already have a massive effect on the build order that you go for. But everything regarding eco should remain the same. I'm able to scout out what my opponent is going for. In the meantime, my opponent is not, wasn't even able to scout out if I was going for a castle or not, which I am, obviously, and the timing should determine that as well. Immediately follows up the castle with a barracks. I like to, what do I like to do? I like to get archers, and I don't like to build a barracks. I like to produce, and then after producing and getting a house, like for instance, Satocastor didn't have anything producing out of this barracks for a second there, probably for a couple seconds. I like to have all my production buildings going and place houses to support the buildings. Looks like I'm going for just some workers, and then I do get this house, and then I'm curious to see what happens here, what I decide to do afterwards. Looks like I'm moving my Raiders around, basically trying to get some information. I split off this one Raider, get some scouting information. Let's go ahead and see what Satocastor can see. He can see that I have the Raider here. Just moving forward, basically trying to use this Raider as a distraction if he's going to move his archers back to deal with it. And move there. I'm able to scout out that this is not a fortress, but I don't scout the second racks. At the same time, I'm floating, so I need to place something down, and I think I know what it is. Okay, so Memory is coming back to me now. Satocastor going for the double racks. I wasn't able to scout that out even though I got the raider in. But because I had so much map control with even just these 3 raiders, I decided I wanted to get a 3rd base and expand. I do get more archers, and then I should be able to move forward from there. It looks like Satocastor is deciding to do the exact same thing where he gets his own 3rd base with units at home to basically defend against this kind of stuff. Really should have some sort of economic advantage. Oh, it does look like I end up losing a raider. I try to blink back, basically trying to cover the mistake of not killing this raider. And as a result, I do end up losing that guy, which is very unfortunate, very unfortunate. Looks like I'm building another house, just trying to keep my supply up. Definitely don't want to be supply blocked, but now I should be building some sort of production. And it looks like I start, and it looks like it's going to be a workshop. Build. It's funny now that I'm now that I'm watching myself play. It's like so many things I could do way better, but alas, improvement will happen. Okay, so I'm noticing that Satocastor has the archer advantage here. I kind of don't want to fight this as much as possible, so I'm letting Satocastor get a little bit of pressure. Hopefully I don't lose any workers. That's actually a huge deal that I lost that worker, because I could have been 3 workers ahead of my opponent, whereas now I'm only 2. But pulling workers let me defend against that, especially as I was on very low supply. I think I'm only on 40, whereas we're actually on the exact same supply, 44 against, or 42 against 42. So okay, we're even. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and take a look at production one more time. Satocastor going for mech himself. So I already started the workshop here. I'm going to get an advanced workshop. Satocastor says a very flattering message of how am I so good, but I really am not that good. Should be getting another archer and then moving forward from there. Satocastor, okay, so he's going for the same thing. I'm very curious to see if he ever decides to go for an advanced workshop. Going for this 1-1-1 build is definitely something I like doing a lot. I don't know why I'm building so many houses. There's no need for it. What I really need to do is like more Raxes. That's what I actually need. But alas, we're moving around the map and doing some special stuff. Yeah, I actually really need to get like 3 more racks down, pretty much. Is this Satocastor? So Satocastor moving forward, basically wanting to get a scout in. We do see that he does get a scout in. A little bit of physical damage is going to trigger a response for me. We do have these catapults available. Worker does go down. Archers will need to be microed so that they don't take unnecessary damage to the soldiers there. And now all archers are ready to attack the opponent. Catapults moving forward to the defense. Satocastor is going to have to make sure to micro these archers correctly. And these 2 catapults alone should be enough to defend against this. At the same time, I have the raider on the other side of the map, giving me all the information I need at that time. Airship is in the production. Catapults again keeping things safe. Another 2 racks do come down. These 2 racks are actually very late. If we take a look at supply, there's no reason for me to be at 80 house. Actually, now there is because I'm so close to 70, but earlier it would have been a lot better had I just produced those 2 racks in the first place. Sending the raider around, trying to get some scouting information regarding this area. Basically just using this to see and check how many bases he's on. He's also got units that are around the map, especially in this area. There's nothing to defend here. I decided to go for a little bit of a catapult drop play, so especially since I'm on 3 bases, I have so many workers as well. I need to stop building workers when I'm on that one. Raider dies. It does confirm the fact that Satocastor went for a 4th base. So I should have the information on that, and I do. I had noticed that he moved a lot of his army here, so what I decided to do is move the drop elsewhere so that he gets very little warning that I am doing this drop. and I should be expanding behind this. Satocastor sees the drop incoming and it moves the workers away pretty quickly. At the same time, I believe I have another drop in this location. So you'll notice that this drop is pulling Satocastor's workers further away from his bases. And now that's going to leave me space to move in with the other drop and drop into his main base and try to get some worker kills over here. At the same time, I'm making sure to micro this drop just so that I can continue to force his attention here. And as a result, we do get some initial damage, not enough to... Well, actually, I think we got just 4 worker kills and an archer kill, which is very nice. And now we do see... Oh, I dropped the catapults, but they weren't in range. Ways I could have been better. Behind this, I am expanding. So is Sato. Man, I'm just kicking myself that I didn't do this sooner. Oh, that could have been way better. But that's going to go home and it's going to get repaired. That could have been game-ending damage. And now we do see more damage here. Ooh, another couple workers. This is actually a very big deal that this many workers died. If we take a look at the worker count, I have do 15 more workers than him. I don't know what the percentage of that means, but it's a big amount to be ahead. Pretty much means that I have 4 base economy, whereas my opponent only has 3 base economy. So catapult drops, very effective. I decide to go for a 5th base here. Okay. Now that I'm looking at this, so I'm going to be saying that a lot, but again, now that I'm looking at this, I definitely wish I had more production going, especially when I'm floating this amount of gold. Something interesting I will note here is the fact I am going for this mage upgrade, or this mages guild, which is going to allow me to build mages. And if we look at the production tab, we do see that mages are on the queue here. Oh boy, this is going to make me feel, I'm definitely exposing myself a little bit here. The fact that I'm not doing the best at building more racks. The good thing is that I'm keeping my supply up, so additional workshops is good, but I don't think I've been supply blocked at any point recently. Going for additional catapult drops at the same time my opponent is moving onto the other side of the map. Have some catapults and mages here. This is I don't ever remember doing something like this. Really hope I don't lose that, and I do lose that. That is not good. I just lost so much gold worth of units. A catapult and 3 mages is so much to lose, especially right before a large engagement like this. I think what I'm doing is potentially controlling something on... Yeah, I'm controlling a catapult drop where I really should be aware of things that are going on here. Mages do come. I do finally start building the additional production. Mages getting their fireball damage on catapult drop. It is going to be able to drop its units here. Archers do go down a little bit, but we have even more low health archers. Is there anything going on the other side of the map? A little bit of a catapult drop, so I'm basically trying to get some pressure in terms of worker kills while this is all going on. Looks like I did pick up that those catapults, but it did go down. So definitely a lot to be asked for in terms of control. I want to check and make sure. Check the workers. So Satocastor. So we're both on 40 workers. So that whole sequence of things did not work out as well as it really should have, and that's very unfortunate. So I lost about 300 gold less than my opponent, but I've also mined about 2,000 more gold than he has. Looks like I might be going for a little bit of a mage drop. Not exactly sure. I did eventually get these racks up, which I'm very happy about. I even decided to go for double forge here. I should be building more towers as well, just to make sure that that base location stays safe. Picking up some mages. I think I have more. Oh, that's not good. So a little bit of coaching for past tense Neagat. It's usually not good to have units queued up in your production like this, but it does look like I might be going for a little bit of a mage drop, and I am. And now I could be going for a little bit of a catapult drop with this guy as well. So that's the case. I go for Catapult drop and Mage drop. Mage drops are something I've been experimenting with a lot more. Good control, making sure that I don't lose just a bunch of mages for no reason. I control click all these mages to deal with a run by. If I'm able to kill this, it means that I'm able to kill like close to probably close to like what, 400 gold just went down there, so that's great. Catapult drop doing some damage again. Satocastor with the Giga Chad response, which is a soldier drop, is going to be able to kill one of these catapults. Definitely needed my airship to be closer to the catapults to respond a little bit faster there. Looks like I've decided to give up on the idea of the mage drops, and I'm floating so much gold. Oh no, that's not very good. That is not very good. All right. And immediately all that floating gold goes down to 300. So I'm playing a very unique style, which is a mage-centric style. So I'll tell you a little bit about my philosophy of how to look at mages, especially as it's something I've been experimenting more and more with recently. So how I look at mages is their energy, the amount of energy they have is supposed to be thought about as like an extra bank. So when you do damage using mages, when you use their fireball in particular, that is free damage. That's like 100% free damage. It doesn't cost you anything to use their abilities, right? Whereas doing damage to things like catapults, especially as mages are really good for dislodging catapult balls, like catapult armies, killing catapults using fireballs is basically free damage, and you're taking away a lot of gold away from your opponent when you're able to deal damage that way. Satocastor, a lot of defenses, especially with these towers. I love his tower setup here that he has going on. It's very good. He's even got defensive units at home to basically keep him safe. Ballista here and 2 mills, so it'd be very interesting to see how it goes. This is going to be a very hard location to break down with this many turrets. I do have catapults, so that is a good thing. These airships are probably going to be taking the brunt of the damage. That's usually how it works. Really hope mages do not go down to any of these towers. But yeah, just move forward. At the same time, Satocastor going for a little bit of a base trade where I take out this space and he takes out the following base. Definitely need to move back with these workers to this defensive location. Once I kill these towers, don't lose that. Do lose that, unfortunately. Once I lose this area, I should be able to rotate back. And in fact, I'm actually sending these workers to this base because I know that I have my army here, and it should remain safe. So I kill everything that's in this area. I might even decide to build a castle here. I'm not exactly sure what's about to happen. But now my goal is to take an engagement against Satocastor's army and try to get some good trades. So we have the catapults here. We have to be very careful. Satocastor doesn't see that we can see him. And now he does. So he leaves his catapults behind, essentially, while his army is going for a run by. Again, mages here. Towers are going to be, again, placed. More mages able to do a lot of damage versus these archers. Soldiers do go down, again, to these fireballs. But now it's just one soldier, and then I'm just going to place some more towers up. So a little bit kind of gun-ho in terms of the towers, I would say. Another run-by, which is great because I have a little bit of an answer to that in the form of these soldiers are on move command, so they don't realize that they're supposed to stop a little bit. I drop a slow field just so that my own soldiers can catch up to them. Which is good, and then I decide to get a base here with towers. So the good thing about getting a base in this location is that it will prevent Satocastor from being able to expand without risking himself, without overexpanding himself. Yeah, so far so good with the mages. I've been able to trade efficiently. I want to trade even more efficiently whenever possible, and getting more bases than my opponent is going to be a big part of that. Satocastor with a drop of his own. Looks like a drop of his own. In the meantime, I'm getting this base up. A lot of soldiers here. I think I'm going to go for a soldier run by if possible, and looks like that's what's going on. A little bit of a mage drop plus catapult kind of army thing that I have going on here. Not exactly sure how to describe it. And again, I have so much money in the bank. I don't know, maybe I'm playing like a Zerg-like style and I'm just trying to get as much gold as possible, but that gold really needs to be on the map. Satocastor with a little bit of a catapult drop. So far it isn't really doing anything necessarily except for potentially doing some damage. I remember this being particularly annoying, but I didn't decide to send any units to deal with that, if I remember correctly. A lot of workers at this third base, which means a lot of these workers are going to be inefficient in terms of their mining. Looks like I'm going to go for another drop here. Castle is not being produced, but should be produced very soon. Mage drop does go down. We do see fireballs all missing. Satocastor very quickly on the reflexes, which is very nice to see. If he was not fast enough on those reflexes, he would have definitely lost a lot of those units. Ooh, am I about to lose 4 mages? I did just lose 4 mages. That is not very good. We have Ballista to deal with them, but this is a lot of GYROGRAFT, and I believe they came as a surprise. At the same time, we see that Satocastor is moving on to the other side of the map. These towers needed to be finished. This base needed to be finished, but just so much going on, and definitely not an excuse, but not happy with that play there. The only saving grace here is the fact that I have, what, 6 racks and a couple of workshops, but Satocastor is actually getting stuff done here with how he's positioning his units. Ooh, a little bit of a fight. Soldiers do get severely damaged against those mage fireballs. Ballista is now in play. Tower is going to be able to keep some of this stuff up. Soldiers doing some damage, and then they will be able to rotate onto these catapults. Mages staying in the background, making sure that they don't take any needless damage against this area. So I am able to stabilize slightly. Again, Satocastor doing so much damage with this catapult drop. I think, hopefully I send something to deal with that. Third base mined out. Looks like I'm going to send some workers to start mining from this base. Let's take a look at the economy. So currently Satocastor is mining about 700 gold more than I am. He's actually mined more gold this entire game, and our losses are very, very similar here. So very even, very, very, very even. Looks like I decided to move forward, basically trying to take engagements with my mages. I want to take engagements with my mages so that I can go for some fireballs, which will be very good. Using slow fuel to save the ballista. A little bit of GYROGRAFT harassment. The good thing is that mages do in fact shoot up. I think at this point I decide I need to get more archers. I really hope I do, just to kind of deal with this. So I really have to retreat back to this tower here to make sure that that I have some sort of way to defend myself. But man, I took some bad trades with those mages. I lost so many mages, and oh boy, I'm losing so many soldiers to this, or so many workers to my own catapults as well, which is not very good to see. Good thing is that I am able to secure this base. I'm actually able to secure a couple of bases. Oh, Satocastor just killing everything in my main base there. Really, really well played by him. Obviously, there's better things I could have done with my own control. Yeah, so moving around with GYROGRAFT, it's good to see. I don't have any more. Oh man, this looks dire for myself. I think Satocastor is probably going to win this game unless something like big happens. Fireballs on the soldiers, trying to reduce their health. Archers are with this army now, so we do have some support. They do have +1 range. No, they do not have +1 range. Mages are going to be able to shoot these catapults. Catapults go down relatively quickly. yeah, let's take a look at both of our supplies. So my supply is currently 175 versus Satocastor's, let's take a look, 100. So Satocastor, huge advantage in terms of the supply. Let's go ahead and take a look at worker count. Uh-oh, this is not good. I have 16 workers versus Satocastor's 50, which is not a very good thing. The only advantage that I have is the fact that I have these two middle bases. Both of them are capable to be mined from, except the only one that's relatively secure is this one right here. Take a look back at the economy. So now I've actually lost more resources playing this style than my opponent has. And that kind of makes sense, actually, because every time you lose one of these mages, it's a tremendous loss. You can use them to get effective trades as long as you're using your fireballs correctly, but it can be very hard to do. More workers being produced. I'm actually producing 4 workers at a time now. I definitely needed to recover my my worker count, and that's something that I'm working on here. I'm also so earlier what I wanted to do and why I had this army here is because I wanted to deny that base that was mining. And now we're actually mining at a very similar amount. Even though he has about 25 more workers, he has fewer bases. And now I'm getting my production back up. I'm getting additional workshops. I really should be getting another advanced workshop as well to help deal with these GYROGRAFT. At some point, I think I decided to go for a castle here, but I noticed that Satocastor had this GYROGRAFT here, so I wasn't able to secure it. So now that I have the advanced bases, I need to get the bases that are in the back here. Again, producing workers, which is good. Ooh, uh-oh, this is very dangerous here. I really hope... I'm very lucky, actually, that I only had like 5 workers here by the time that Satocastor decided to go for this drop, which... yeah, great for me. I can actually rotate these workers up to this base and be relatively safe. Satocastor gets bored and decides to... well, not bored, but he doesn't have very good targets there anymore, so he decides to rotate. Let's take a look at supplies. So 92 versus 137, which is, obviously advantage for Satocastor. Let's go ahead and take a look at units really quickly. So again... so I've made it to 40 workers, it looks like, prioritizing, getting a really good fireball. The important thing is killing the catapults now. Moving forward against the catapult army is obviously not the play, so I need to be very careful, and as you can see, I do end up losing a lot of units there. Soldiers moving from the back here, getting some damage onto my own catapults. Definitely will need to regroup this area here. But he's doing a lot of damage here. I actually think this is game-ending damage, and I decide to GG Satocastor. Really good game playing from him. Obviously, there were things I needed to do as well in terms of getting my production up and then making sure that I was safe against a lot of the things he went for. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one.